We're live. Hey, welcome. Good evening, everybody, to Mortgage from a Treehouse. Another beautiful afternoon in the neighborhood. It started out a little bit rainy, but now clearing out. We're going to have a beautiful sunset. So, beautiful sunsets inspire me to talk about vacation houses, second homes, right? A little bit about last week. We missed you all. I missed you guys. You guys maybe not miss me, but anyway, I was in a beautiful vacation spot. We went to Maui, the family and I, and it really got me thinking over this past week. Hey, there's a lot of folks out there that are looking at vacation homes and what that means and how to make that happen. So I figured, coming back from vacation, let's talk about second homes and vacation homes and what you can do to get yourself ready to buy that vacation house and just really go enjoy. We've been through enough. I think we can all agree that this last year has been plenty to deal with. Let's go find some vacation property to chill out and just sit back and enjoy life a little little life by design, so to say. So that's what we're going to focus on tonight. We're going to talk about second homes. Moving right along. So you want a second home, and a lot of folks are they have the same preconceived notion. This is where we were, by the way. We were right there, beachfront in Maui, looking over the pool and into the ocean and watching the humpback whales jump. It's just awesome. And I'm like, wow, we gotta talk about this and help people get there, because this is paradise here. Let's just go like this, make it a little bigger. Yep, right out there to the ocean. That is Lanai across the bay there, across the Pacific. Just amazing times. So, folks, vacation homes they're not that much different than a regular owner-occupied house. And for all of you out there that think that, oh, it's unattainable, that I got to have more down than 20%, 30%, it's just not the case. So let's talk about that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can buy a second home. So here's the processes. I want to start with the processes next to each other, right? Buying a primary house. What are the steps, right? You get pre-approved. Your offer gets accepted. You inspect the property. You get an appraisal on the property. You get the formal mortgage underwrite done. You sign the closing paperwork and you fund. Buying a vacation home, as you'll notice, is super similar. Same steps, guys. Get pre-approved for that house. Offer gets accepted. You make those offers, they get accepted. Inspection and appraisal. Mortgage underwriting happens. You sign the closing paperwork, boom, you fund and you move in. So when we look at the fundamental basics between buying a primary residence, your owner-occupied house, and the vacation home, same process. Same awesome, easy mortgage process that we love to provide our clients. So don't let that process scare you. It's no different if you got your owner-occupied house. Buying a second home, it's no different. So now that we know we don't have to worry about it, so what is a little bit different between the two options, right? So buying a primary home, as we've talked about on prior episodes here in Mortgage from a Treehouse, is we've got programs that allow you to get into an owner-occupied residence with zero down, right? VA, USDA, the Washington State Housing and Finance Commission, some different state-specific down payment assistance programs outside of Washington State. And then credit scores can go down to a 580, right? And the other big difference is rate, right? But that rate difference is not that great. We'll talk about that in a second. Down payments, when we look at down payments for second homes, you will need to put some investment into the property. And that investment comes in the form of at least 10% down. If you want to put more down, great, go for it. You could, but 10% down is the minimum down payment that we have available right now for second homes. So that's still not too terribly bad. A lot of people think that they've already got the preconceived notion of 20% down, and then I need more than that because it's a second home. It's not my owner occupied, so they probably want more down. That's actually just false, right? 10% down, as low as 10%, you can get into it, and the credit scores are to 660. So they're a little higher than the 580, but we don't have to have this rock star, out of this world credit score of an 802 that you may or may not have, or you may think you have to have. So just always like to set that out. Now the rates are just slightly different. There is a difference when the mortgage companies and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they look at a second home in comparison to an owner-occupied residence, right? So your owner-occupied residence, they say, yeah, it's your owner-occupied. You're gonna do everything you can in your power to make sure that that loan gets paid on time. And if there's any hardships, you're gonna make that mortgage payment before any other payments and obligations to keep your shelter, right? So they do price a second home a little bit more expensive. So it's probably about an eighth of a rate higher than your owner occupied house. Not that horribly much more expensive, but there's that little difference. So yeah, you have the same rate environment. It's nothing like getting an investment property, which we will be talking about here shortly, buying more investment properties and how to, but it's just slightly higher by about, like I said, 0.125%. So nothing that's a showstopper. Moving right along. So what kind of properties can we finance? That is a great question. So I went and did just a little bit of shopping today on Redfin. And, you know, maybe you want a beach house, single family residences. A-okay. You can totally do a single family residence on a second home vacation home, right? This is a beautiful little place. It's down there, like I said, on Long Beach. It's beachfront. They have a very long walkway out to the ocean down there. I didn't realize, side note, didn't realize the sand at Long Beach is actually accumulating. Their beach is actually getting bigger because it's coming up from California and creating a deeper, bigger beach here in Northern Oregon and Southwestern Washington. Totally stunned. But it's happening. Look it up. So single family residence types, awesome. Those standalone houses, you can totally do it. Other property types that you can do. This is one of the coolest townhouses I've ever seen. This is down in Bend. So the family and I, every winter, we've made trips down to Bend to go up to Mount Bachelor and do our skiing and what have you. And quite frankly, Bend is an awesome, awesome vacation spot. So you could totally grab a townhouse. 100% acceptable, really cool. I love the detail on this one because it looks like a single family residence, but there's actually 2 units. If we split it right down here, right down the middle here, yeah, this is 1 unit over here, and then this is the other unit over there. But I thought it was a pretty unique townhouse. And, you know, it's right there in the wheelhouse of I think that was $480,000. But MLS numbers are on there if you guys want to go look these up. But I just like to give illustrations of the property types too, so you guys can see them. These actually exist. These are active listings that you can go buy as a second house. Moving right along, what's next? Anybody want to take a guess what property types we can do also on a vacation house? Yep, the condos. The condos. This is a beautiful Palm Springs, California condo. Again, I'm not selling real estate. I'm just wanting to give you guys illustrations of what's possible. So this one is a golf course. It lines a golf course down there in Palm Springs. I don't know which one of the mini golf courses down in Palm Springs, but it was an end unit. I thought it was interesting. It was a great example. It was like mid 300s. So totally doable as far as a vacation property is concerned. Now, you may be thinking, great, that's awesome, but there's some other possibilities as far as property types. So let's talk about those. These are the no-goes. You got the condo hotels. I want to live in I want Palm Springs too, especially right now. Stacy, I hear you. I hear you. And I totally echo the sentiment because coming back from Maui this past weekend and then having it like freezing cold on Monday morning, it was literally freezing here at my house. It was 30 degrees. I'm like, I am ready for some more heat. So, so some property types we can't handle in the conventional way through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac are condo-tels. Condo-tels is a hybrid condo and hotel, and it's got a lot of different rules and regulations that go along with it. There are some non-QM, so non-Fannie Mae, non-Freddie Mac outlets that we can do condo hotels through, but they do require a more substantial down payment. Yeah, those are looking at a 30% down payment. But For the general purposes of this conversation in Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac world, condo tells are no-go. Co-ops on the West Coast, co-ops are also a no-go. If you're looking for co-ops in New Jersey and New York, we could totally talk about that. But for the most part, outside New Jersey and New York and some East Coast exposure, co-ops are a no-go as well for a second home. Finally, timeshares. I get a lot of, well, not finally, there's one more. The last one is my favorite one. The timeshares, you own just the time and you don't own the actual real estate. So in that case, we can't help in that situation. You'll have to actually do a timeshare financing or buy the timeshare outright. So timeshares, we can't help in that respect. And because of the fact that you don't own the real estate, you're owning the time in the real estate. And then finally, the off-grid cabin. You guys hear that? Is there a banjo playing in the background? So this has come up this always comes up 2 or 3 times a year. People are like, oh man, I found this cool place up at the base of Mount Rainier, just outside the national park, that it's got no plumbing, no heating, no cooking top, and it's got a solar panel outside to charge the little light bulb that comes on in the 1 bedroom in the place. It's totally cool. I love roughing it. Don't get me wrong. Just it doesn't meet the minimum property characteristics that we need to do a residential vacation home loan on that. So there are some great outlets. If you guys want those, ping me, let me know. I can point you in directions for lenders that will do off-grid, but that is definitely not a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac product. It's more your niche credit union. So look to your credit unions first for that one if you are looking to go off-grid and get that cabin in the woods. So you have that peace and quiet and tranquility that comes along with being off-grid. Not to mention the hike through the woods with the toilet paper in your hand. So moving right along. So I thought it would only be fitting just to kind of break down some myths around second houses, right? And one of them, if I could get it to go, is you can't rent out a second home. This one's false, folks. Second homes can totally be rented out in an Airbnb setting. They can totally be rented out on short-term leases. You can't have a long-term lease over a 12-month lease, a 12 or greater month lease on a second home. So you can totally go Airbnb a second home. The one caveat to that is you can't use that Airbnb income to qualify for that second home. You have to qualify for both your primary residence, as I hit my mic, your primary residence and the second home. You have to be able to qualify for both mortgage payments. But you can totally Airbnb it. Do it. Next one. Why is that not working? Oh, there we go. Technology works. Mortgage insurance is too expensive on second homes. As I mentioned earlier, second homes, you only have to put down 10%. And again, with the rate environment being still so low. Yeah, we ticked up into the low 3s, guys, but low 3s is amazing. It's amazing. So I won't say, well, back in my day, I was selling 9% paper. Anyway, 3%, you're still in the 3% for second homes. So if you could keep that extra 10%, let's run this back out to the townhouse. The townhouse in Bend was mid 400s. So if you could keep an extra $45,000 in your bank account, as opposed to investing it into a second home that is a dead asset. We talked about dead assets, right? The second that you put that money into that house, you can't get it out unless you refinance it or you sell it, right? So we don't want to do that. So what better way to understand the difference between that cost, that opportunity cost, than actually pulling up a rate quote? So I did that just for you guys. I'm going to make this bigger so you can all see this. Okay. So the loan amount at that 440 ballpark, the loan amount would be $400,000. So 440 purchase price, we're putting 10% down. So our loan amount is $400,000. Got a 760 credit scores, 2 borrowers, single family resident or townhouse, and state of Washington. I should have pulled Oregon, but this is state of Washington. Primary residence, guys, it's $50 a month for this. A second home is $90 a month to keep that 10% of that purchase price in your bank account. Liquid. $90. Can I see a show for all you watching right now? Can you say yes or no to this question? Is your cell phone, is your cell phone bill every month more than $90 a month? Yes or no? For all of you watching, I'm almost 100% guaranteed. Well, not 100% guaranteed, but I would say about 90% of you, your cell phone bill is over $90 a month. So it's super powerful to hold that money, to invest it, to stay liquid, to have reserves, as opposed to dumping it into an investment property or a second home. So I wanted to show you guys in living color how much that mortgage insurance is on this second home. It's $90 a month. So that's super, super affordable. And that's why I talk so many people into maybe not sinking all their capital into a dead asset. Okay, this is my favorite one. If I live in Bellevue and can I have a second home in Seattle, right? So let's say I live over in Sammamish or the east side of Bellevue and I want to have a second home in Bellevue or in Seattle, excuse me. The answer is no. There's a general rule of thumb that a second home has to be at least 50 miles away from your owner-occupied residence, or maybe you live close to a resort type area, right? I'll give you an example. I live right now in Issaquah, right? So if I went up to Snoqualmie Pass and I bought a second home up there, it would be less than 50 miles. But Snoqualmie Pass up there at the ski resort would be considered a vacation type location, right? So if you live within 50 miles of a vacation type location and it makes sense that that is indeed a second home, you can totally kind of break the mold down of the 50-mile radius. But you couldn't say, hey, I live in Bellevue and I don't want to deal with the 520 bridge or the I-90 bridge, so I'm going to get a second home and I'm going to second home it 5 days of the week in Seattle as opposed to my Bellevue house. That just won't fly through underwriting. They're going to say, hey, no, you're going to have to do this as a non-owner occupied house, and you're going to have to put down the required down payment for a non-owner occupied house. So think about the 50-mile rule. That's what really is the go-to for most underwriting, or the vacation type location. Finally, I have to spend 14 days at my second house to make it a second home. That's it. That's the requirement. That's the second requirement. There's a location requirement for second homes and vacation properties that's greater than 50 miles away or in a vacation type location. And then the second thing is you have to be living there 14 days out of the year. So this is where it gets super fun and super fabulous when we talk about Airbnbs and all that good stuff. Yeah, as long as you're in the house for 14 days, 2 weeks, which we all need to be taking a 2-week vacation. Total sidebar. I'm a workaholic, total work nut, and to go on vacation for this last week and enjoy my family and remember what that's all about. Please, I beg of you, if you haven't taken a vacation in this whole COVID time, plan it. Things are getting open again. Get it on the calendar. You owe it to yourself. So off my soapbox, but going back to it, that's where this is cool, where you can then take that second home that you have, do short-term rentals, do some sort of Airbnb situation. So long, definitely check in with the locations and the municipalities and see what their short-term rental rules and regulations are. Of course, always follow the rules in that respect. But it allows you then to not only have a vacation home, but to even offset the cost. So super, super powerful tool here. And so I wanted to share that. Those are the two qualifying factors of a second home, so it doesn't get called an investment property, right? It's got to be in a vacation type location or 50 miles away from your house. And then finally, you have to spend 14 days a year in it. So finally, here's our last one, myths about second homes. Keith can get you pre-approved to make an offer on your new second home. Yep, I sure can. That is true. So we do second home purchases all over the place. My team and I here at Mortgage from a Treehouse, you know, we can help folks all up and down the West Coast in Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho, Montana, any of those locations. We'd be happy to help you out. Again, that process, we're going to start with a pre-approval. Any agent right now is going to want to make sure that you're pre-approved for that second home before they start making offers on your behalf. And it's just prudent to take that first step to make sure that that income ratio works, to make sure the assets are there, and to make sure the credit is in the right shape, to make sure that that vacation dream becomes a reality. So would love to help you guys. If you guys have any questions about vacation homes, let me know. Love to help you out. And maybe share your vacation spot. If you could buy a vacation home anywhere right now, where would that be? Let me know. I'd love to hear. So next week, that concludes our show. So please, if you found any value in it tonight, please like it, share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as Mortgage from a Treehouse, and invite your friends. We're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. and just spreading the good knowledge about mortgages, second homes. Next week, we're going to be talking about credit 101, good credit, bad credit. If you had a major credit event, forbearance, we're going to talk about all of that next week. So let us know how we can help. Look forward to seeing you guys, and have a great week. And this is Keith Pitch signing off from Mortgage from a